Unsyndicated presents Off the Air with Sean Baligian.
Hi, how are you? Just screwing around on a Friday night. I mean, like, what else do you got going on tonight, right? And
It's true.
Other than poor Blake.
What place would you rather be than on Off the Air with Sean Baligian? I can't imagine a better place on a Friday night at 9 p.m.
Well, with Blake, of course, from 760 WGR, Mitch Album Show on Sports Rap as well. So
That's true. My name's on the little thingy right down there, though.
It's 43 days until week 0. Just in case you weren't keeping track, it's just 43 days until week 0.
And it's also like 56 hours until the college football video game comes out that's going to take over the world.
It might just take over the world. It might. What was that thing you sent me earlier? It had more of a trend. What was it? Boobs?
It's right? Getting Googled more than boobs.
That is funny.
I know that you're not a video game guy at this point in your life, and I respect that.
I used to be, and it's like now it's like I'll play it, but I'm not like pants around my ankles waiting for it, you know?
But like, are you seeing a lot about it on like your Twitter timeline?
Yes.
Because it's like taken over my Twitter timeline completely. And I understand like there's an algorithm and everything, but it's all I'm seeing. And it just makes me so happy.
It is so let me I'll try to explain it to you like this. I think if my son was home, I would probably be more like all in on it and everything, but since like he's out in LA, I have a funny story about that. I know I'm going to embarrass him, but I'm going to say it anyway in a second. It's not, you know what I'm excited about? I'm excited about planning a big barbecue for the return of college football. Yes. And if you think I'm joking, we've already been talking about all the things we're going to do. And I don't know how many people are going to come over. Maybe there's 10, maybe there's 15, whatever. But I know my pal Blake's going to be there, and that makes me happy. As Dave said, SEC Media Day is Monday. That is always a treat. Now, don't get me wrong. I think some of the luster has come off of it. Obviously, Spurrier left and Saban left. But you still got Lane Kiffin. By the way, you know, thoughts and prayers to him. He lost his father. But that is one of those, Blake, I don't know about you. That is one of my unofficial start of like the college football preseason. Does that make sense?
Once the media days start, it's like we're getting somewhere. The 4-letter network is covering college football again, all of that stuff. It means we're close. We're in the dog days now.
Yeah. Big 10 barbecue days. Yeah, that's exactly it, man. Really, that's exactly what it comes down to. All right. You know what? I have to say this again because, and I hope you know the context in which I'm saying this. I feel sorry for you because it's been like one hit after another, unfortunately for you. With all the rain we had last week, and I'm not joking. There was one day I could not believe how hard it was raining. It was like kind of funny. Like I was telling Mike when he came over, you ever go to one of those water parks? Blake?
Yeah.
We used to take our kids to those, you know, unsanitary places all the time. And they always had this giant bucket that you know, they would start ringing the bell and then all the kids would go running because the giant bucket would dump water all over you, right? I swear to God, at one point in time, it sounded like that bucket of water dumped on my house. Like, I am not joking. And here is a problem. It just kept going. It was like the bucket just automatically filled up like that, and it kept going and kept going. Well, if you didn't know this about my pal, he lives in a low-lying area, and unfortunately, you've had some issues. So even before the rainstorm started, I remember I even texted you. I was like, "Oh, dude, I hope you don't get hit," but you got hit.
I got hammered with rain. So the day before, because I got an alert on my phone through like Apple or whatever, the Apple weather, and it said like flood warning for your area starting at, I think it was like 11 p.m. that night. So I was like, okay. I bought a pump to put in my yard months ago because this keeps happening. So I set up the pump and everything so I didn't have to go out that morning and have it set up. It was all set up, ready to go.
Right.
So that picture that I sent you, that was with the pump running. So it had gotten to that point. Imagine if I didn't have the pump out there.
Oh my gosh, dude.
My backyard legitimately looked like riverfront property.
Like and no crap. And I'm not even going to ask you to like try to show those pictures. It was awful. It really was. And so like I even asked Blake, I said, dude, like if you don't want to mention this, let's not mention it. But Blake, you know what? You have the exact same attitude that I do about crap like that. I get mad as I've gotten older. I don't get mad too often anymore, but my old friends are probably laughing. I used to be a pretty good hothead. Like I openly admit it. I just don't get mad anymore. I wish I could explain it. I've just got this weird like Zen peace or something. I don't get mad over things like that. I find myself frustrated over little dumb things, but with something like that I have absolutely no control over, I don't know why. I just kind of go, whatever.
Yeah.
That's just kind of that's my attitude about it, you know?
I'm frustrated with the county. Don't get me wrong, because so I talked to them. That was Wednesday. I called, and this is like the third time I had called about this issue. Called Wednesday. They were like, we're going to get someone out tomorrow. Yesterday came. Nobody came. I was like, okay, maybe they'll come Friday.
Yeah.
Still nothing. The thing is so the person I talked to from the county like looked, and there is supposed to be a drain in my backyard right behind my garage. But she's worried that whoever built the garage on my property, like I know that they didn't pull the right permits. So the manhole cover to access this drain might be covered by my garage. So it's it's going to be a mess. I'm not looking forward to it. And the best part is where everything floods isn't right next to where the drain's supposed to be. It's on the opposite side of the garage. So I'm going to have to regrade my yard so that the rain flows towards if this drain is there. It's a nightmare. It's an absolute nightmare situation.
I got to read something that my buddy Mike said, but we're going to roll through the comments. People are jumping in, kind of doing the same thing. I hope you're enjoying your Friday night. Chad said, hey, guys, the game is going to focus on microtransactions and the ultimate team mode, and the franchise mode will be trash, just like every other EA sports game.
Chad, I disagree with that. I've watched a lot of videos about the franchise mode, and it actually looks really, really good. The ultimate team mode, 100% will be just a money grab for EA, but the dynasty mode looks really, really, really good. They redid the entire thing, and it's not like the good thing for like a college football fan like we are. It's not just like a reskin of Madden. They're doing completely different things. All the gameplay, everything, it looks completely different.
Good. Dave said, boy, we nailed this last year. It doesn't seem like that long ago. We were talking about this, Blake, at the station. Colorado 6 wins, maybe 7.
I don't think they're getting 6.
Last year, you have to give them credit for what they did week 1. You have. Okay, there's no doubt about that. But Blake, I vividly remember talking to you about this while Dion Mania was going on and people were talking, can they be a playoff team and all that stuff. It's not like the media blow things out of proportions. I vividly remember you and I talking about this going, you know what? They might not win another game.
Yeah.
And they didn't. You know what? I looked at their schedule. I don't know it like off the top of my head. If you want to look at right now,
I'm pulling it up right now.
I did think bowl team, Blake. I did think bowl team. I just don't think 6 wins is that difficult to get to, man. I just don't. I don't think it's
okay.
That get to.
But the thing is it's what we talked about with. I think I'm lagging because of me pulling this up, but it's the Big 12. So like we don't know who's going to be good. That league is
100%.
so even keeled.
100%. Yep, I agree with
And
that.
so they start with North Dakota State, who is known for like beating FBS teams. They go to Nebraska, to Colorado State.
To be honest, you should still win that game, though. You should still win that game
Yeah.
against Dakota State. Yeah.
But
Nebraska could very well be a loss. I'm thinking loss.
You
Colorado
should beat Colorado State.
Yes.
Then they play Baylor, UCF, K-State.
Yeah.
You don't know,
I
like
don't
legitimately.
know. For the sake of an argument, how about I say they take 2 out of 3, and Meatloaf will tell you that ain't bad.
And then Arizona, Cincy, Texas Tech. Again, those are 3 total toss-up games.
I don't know. Yeah, I'm not going to sit here and pretend to know.
And then Utah, Kansas, Oklahoma State.
Yeah, good luck. Good luck with that.
They could legitimately go 4-8, or they could go 8-4.
Yeah. I think they'll be a bowl team. Happy Friday, fellas. Bill said the bucket. Yes. It's National French Fry Day. Is it really? I didn't know that. Maybe I should just go get a French fry just on principle now. Thunder River Falls hit Sean's crib. Bill, I swear to God, that's exactly what it sounded like. It was like one of those. I was like, look at it. Remember in Elf when Buddy the Elf hears the guy talking on the loudspeaker? It was like the bucket hit, and I was going like this. I was like Buddy the freaking Elf. I caught myself. Chad, amen. It takes too much energy to get mad once you hit a certain age. Dave said likewise. Same with me, so be it. Dude, I don't know. And it's funny because my kids say the same thing. Like I was never towards my kids that, growing up and everything, but they're just like, dude, you're so mellow now. And I'm like, I don't even smoke dope. So I don't know what happened. I
smoke dope.
No, I'm serious though. It's like some dudes like just, I got a little old, or I take one of these gummies or whatever. It's legal. Go do what you want to do. It's not my thing. If it's your thing, I'm not here to chastise you, but I just got mellow.
What do you like out of all podcasts that are out there? What are the odds that both hosts? Because I don't partake in the marijuana either. What are the odds that both hosts don't? I feel like we're probably one of like 10.
You know what? I had Mike, my neighbor from Wealth Advantage. The Zen comes from all the watering of your lawn. I'm telling you, everybody used to make fun of me at my old house when I lived next door to Mike because I would go out there like an old man and I would hand water my lawn. And I'm telling you, see, you do the exact same thing. But I would go into my own little land, and that was my peace. I swear to God, that was my peace. It was just, I would pretend like I was bombing Nazi Germany. I was like 7 years old, and I with the hose and everything.
Well, you remember last time I was over, there was a little dead patch in your lawn. I said, Sean, you better take care of this.
Well, I can explain that because I'm kind of meticulous about my lawn. The previous owner in that one area of the grass, instead of planting like regular grass, he planted Kentucky bluegrass. It's just not going to work unless you are literally pounding that with water every day. You're going to get that dry spot. So what I'm literally going to rip that off and put some sod in there one of these days. I don't know, one of these days. Sean's anger has mellowed with age, same as me. Here's a good Blake. Is that an Astros hat?
It is.
All right.
It's a vintage logo.
Jason, don't let Sean fool you. He'll still one punch you in his dreams. Tim said, unless I bring up Bo and Jim versus coaches. No, I don't have a problem with that. Tim, you know exactly what my problem was. Come on, let's be honest. Whether you want to admit it or not, there was a little trolling going on when Michigan State was doing things that your school wasn't doing. And I get it. And you know what? It is about, you have to win your conference champion first. You do. And I'm not going to change my argument. And I would always say that, Blake. I would always say Jim Harbaugh will be the first to tell you the goal is to win the Big Ten. Right?
Yeah.
And so Bo Schembechler won the Big Ten a plethora of times. Now, did he go win the big prize? No. Did he oftentimes win the Rose Bowl? No. But that's what it started with. And until Jim Harbaugh went and did that, Bo Schembechler was a better coach. Duh. And now when Jim goes and does it 3 years in a row and brings a national championship, things change, baby. Even with the illustrious career, I always respected Bo. I'm serious. I've said that before Jim had the success he had. I mean, they were the model of consistency. Blake, honest to God, when I was a kid, if you tell me that your down year is 6-6, where your starting quarterback breaks his arm, and you come this close to knocking off the eventual national championship in a bowl game, that's your down year. You know, they were the model of consistency in college football from really 1969 all the way up to 2008. And I think you have to give Bo a hell of a lot of credit for that, man. You really do. That's Bill said, is NIL money in the new college football?
It is.
That is awesome.
And the transfer portal's in there. And I saw, because in the new one, so they redid like the Road to Glory, which is like you start as like a freshman and the only person you play as is like that player, and you go through your whole career. You can even set up like burner accounts in it. So like you can like hype yourself up on like the Twitter that's in the game as like an anonymous person.
Come on, are you?
I swear, this game is gonna be awesome.
Jeez, EA can't make a game that doesn't have a money grab in some aspect. Yeah, what's bigger, Dion's ego or the Book of Buckeye? Excuses, man. They've been pretty hot and heavy the last few years.
Wait, real quick. Mike Husak said him and Jeff bought PS5s just for the game. I need to get into a dynasty league with the Husak brothers.
Oh, that would be awesome.
So badly.
Well, I hope they could come over on week 1. Mike, seriously, open invite, August 24th. All right. Look who jumped in. Paige. Paige was an outstanding basketball player at Wayne State, went and played professionally overseas. She was also my intern at WDFN when we were doing the show, Killer and I. Look at, she's got my back. I was Sean's intern, and he never got mad then either. Nothing a Coney can't fix. I probably didn't show you back then, Paige. I used to get mad back then. I used to get really mad back then. I don't even like to think about that back then.
Yeah, let's move on.
Well, you and I, Blake, you and I were talking about that before the show started. It is amazing how clear things look when they're in your rearview mirror, and I'll leave it at that. It is absolutely amazing. Sean, weird it's National French Fry Day, and our Windsor buddy Joe posts a picture of poutine from Dunn's in Montreal. Yeah, he got the smoked meat and poutine. Oh my goodness gracious.
Poutine is so good.
Mike, as Lauren picked the beautiful flowers, the dandelions. Poor Mike. We would go on the side of his house and like, you're just a jerk if you're picking the dandelions. You know, if you take them out of the ground, that's one thing. But Lauren thought they were flowers, and she would get like a little like bucket, like maybe this wide, and fill that thing. I'm telling you, with probably 1,000 dandelions. It was incredible. That just, and then she'd wipe them all over Dad's face and everything. You know, we've talked about Beauty Shop before, but that's a way. Tim said, see, no, you didn't get me mad. He said, I just thought Bo devalued the national title. It started with the Big Ten. I mean, this is, you know, it's funny. I kind of wanted to talk about this tonight anyway, because we're in really strange times. I think you know that as well as I do. We're in really strange times. And the argument that I had circa 2013 until, it's amazing how this works out, 2021, of the human beings out there that would argue with me that a Big Ten title didn't mean that much is incredible. It really is. And it was amazing when Michigan finally did it, you know, for the first time since 2004, and when Michigan finally did it, it was amazing to me how those arguments, I never saw it anymore. It was so weird how that worked itself out, you know? And I've always said this. It's almost like the old this is going back 20 plus years, okay? Blake, I hated with a passion, and people can vouch for this. I hated with a passion the whole BCS thing. Hated it with everything inside of me, okay? Because my argument always was politicking could do a team well.
Mm-hmm.
And I'll tell you what, in 04, 05, people didn't want to hear that. Nobody wanted to talk about it. People called it an old bit, okay? You wouldn't believe what year things change. You're going to be stunned when I tell you what year changed. And all of a sudden, everybody was crying about it. It was 2006. Where I say again, Michigan got jobbed. Michigan got jobbed in 2006. Period. End of story. And all of a sudden, in a lot of these same people that would give me a hassle about it, all of a sudden everybody wanted to talk about what a screw job it was. And I would be like, wait, time out. It doesn't affect you until it affects you.
Mm-hmm.
And it shouldn't be that way. Like, really, it shouldn't be that way. Anybody with a half a brain in their head should have realized that that was a stupid thing. And unfortunately, Michigan had to suffer the consequences of that. I mean, you remember Uncle Herb went on a full campaign trip, man. You know?
Yeah. Sean Crable just. I'm just gonna take a deep breath.
Go on.
That's fine. No, it's fine. Sean Crable, the late hit on Troy Smith, and it brings back bad memories. That was a young Blake. That was a 13-year-old Blake.
Oh, but aren't those the most devastating losses? Though I don't care what anybody says. Ah, damn.
That was like right when I got into college football too. Like that was like 06, 07 is when I fell in love with college football. It was right then.
I couldn't even tell you. I couldn't tell you. Like when I think back, college football was just always there. Does that, like, honestly, it was just always like I would get excited with Michigan State. Like everybody else, I listened to Bob Ufer. I mean, he was a legend. I mean, I don't care who you root for. He made listening to a broadcast fun. I always was. It just was there, you know.
No, that's when I liked it, but that time frame, those 2 years, that's when I fell in love with the sport legitimately. Because that 2007 season, I mean, we've talked about it, like just me and you. I mean, that season was incredible.
It was
all
fantastic.
The upsets, everything. It wasn't like 8 of the 12 weeks, number 2 team lost.
I remember when my boy Gary Pinkel beat number 1. I was so happy for him, and I think then they eventually became number 1 that year, and then they got knocked off. It was insane.
They lost in the Big 12 championship to Kansas.
It was insane, dude. It really was a great year. We mentioned Mike Cusack. Let me mention his business now. These guys are my buddies. They're also taking care of my family, and they can take care of you as well. And if you're ready to take charge of your financial future, those are the two you have to give a call to. Look no further than the Wealth Advantage Group, located in historic downtown Northville, owned by the Handsome brothers right there. 20 years of industry experience. They understand that your financial goals are as unique as you are. And that's why they offer personalized expert guidance to help you navigate the complexities of financial planning. Now, everybody's at a different point in their life, whether you're saving for retirement, getting ready to sell your company, already in retirement. These guys can help guide you through every step of your financial journey. They work with clients throughout all stages of life and have clients in over 20 states. The investment world is a complex one, and if you're ready to start taking your finances more seriously, give my friends a call. You're helping me, you're helping yourself. Trust me when I say that. It's the Wealth Advantage Group at 248-773-8574. That's 248-773-8574, or visit their website at www.thewealthadv.com. adv.com. You'll be glad you did. Look who joined us. There he was. Okay. Yeah. What do you have to add? Just kiss it, right? This guy. He he's dad's dog. We don't know how it happened. He's dad's dog. It's like he's just sits at my feet, and then sometimes, like if I'm not petting him enough, then it's like he starts jumping up and scratching me and everything. Jason said Bo turned a dead program around, but still sucked in bowls. Yeah, mad credit for Bo. I mean, modern day Michigan is Bo Schembechler. It is. I mean, modern day Michigan. You don't have to ask me that. Jim Harbaugh would be the first guy to tell you. Here's a question for you, Blake. Genghis said, how long till there's a revamp on CFB 25?
Well, I gotta know if he's talking about like the mod that they did on the PS3 version. But that's the other cool thing, because of all the money that they're like paying out for NIL, like they're gonna be updating it throughout a lot more than they could back in the day. So
Yeah.
I'm gonna be very busy next week, Ron, just so you know.
Jim from back in the day in Toledo said, I remember when Sean was an intern. You know what though, Jim? I was never an intern. They like hired me. I never had an internship. I don't know why.
Well, you know, I'm still called Blake the intern to this day. Still to this day.
ADT had enough anger for everyone. Gosh, his anger was so good. Did I ever tell you the Stephen A. Smith story? Did I ever tell you what he did to Stephen A. Smith?
No. Who's ADT?
Angry Doug Todd. Doug Todd was a producer at WDFN for years. Great guy. Consider him a friend. Stephen A. Smith came to town, and he was doing a show live. I forget what for. Maybe it was the Eastern Conference Finals or whatever. And I don't know if you know this. Stephen has a very high opinion of himself. Were you aware of that?
I hadn't heard.
Yeah,
but...
Stephen has a very high opinion of himself. So he didn't walk in, he kind of floated in. Like, I kid you not. And so they were doing the introductions, and our boss was like, hey, Stephen, our top producer's here. If you need anything, lean on him. He'll take care of you. And Doug, always a nice guy, though. Okay, seriously, always a nice guy. And that's why I consider him a friend. But Stephen A. was like, yeah, get me a coffee. And Doug just kind of looks at him like, huh?
Yeah.
And he goes, Stephen. Stephen's like, what's up? And Doug points at the coffee pot. I was like,
God.
yes. Get me a coffee. Huh? You're 5 feet away from the pot. Go pour yourself your own damn coffee.
Now, did you, like, when you had interns, did you have them, like, get you coffee or, like, lunch and, like, stuff like that? Okay. See, I never, like, when I was an intern, I never had to do any of that kind of stuff.
It was a bit, though. It
Okay.
was a bit, if that makes sense. I don't think I ever did with you, Paige, but it was a bit. One time we did this thing called the stupid radio bit you do. We had the intern Olympics. It was the middle of summer, like where we were counting down. 50 days until college football starts, like us today, 43 days or whatever. And I was like, I just don't want to sit here and talk about the Tigers because they're awful. By the way, 3-3 the last I saw. Maybe you guys can keep me updated. And we made a bunch of events called the Intern Olympics. And it was all radio station related stuff. Go do this, go do that. But the final heat was, and we kept it a secret. The final heat was go get Sean food. And that's all we said. Go get Sean food. And we said, you have to leave the building to go get food. And they all ran next door to McDonald's. And then this one kid ran back and he had like a Big Mac. And I was like, you win. And but you know what? I always, honestly, and I would hope all my interns would say this. I always wanted to help them and treat them with respect because I remember what it was like when I first started.
Yeah.
Because truth be told, and I'm not going to mention any names, but when I started in Toledo, there were some assholes that I worked with. I mean, big assholes.
Yeah.
And I always told myself I wasn't going to be that guy. And I would hope that everybody that ever interned for me, even when I was kind of a jerk, I would hope that nobody would ever say that I was disrespectful. Like, seriously, that would kind of bug me. Like, I was never disrespectful when we worked together, right? We just never.
No, never. I mean, obviously, we had very good interactions, seeing as I'm still working with you. So,
Yeah. Jason said 2 foods people need to experience: Youper, pasties, and Canadian poutine. I'm never going to argue that. You got to try the Montreal smoked meat too. Oh my gosh. Sean's anger was like a grenade. ADT was like what just dropped on Nagasaki. That's funny. Jim said conferences are meaningless now, pretty much. Pretty much.
I mean, you do get the automatic bid.
Helps. I mean, that's great. Ray said with the new playoff and Pac-12 no more, will it make the Rose Bowl meaningless now since it's no longer Big Ten versus Pac-12? It's the granddaddy of them all. It definitely loses luster.
Michigan won the last real Rose Bowl.
I can't hear anybody say otherwise, and it's sad. It is. It's sad. It loses luster. But I think we're all used to a lot of the things that we loved about college football going by the wayside. You know, and a lot of the traditional games kind of going away and stuff like that. So as sad as it sounds, it's like it's nothing new, and I think even more is coming. So yeah, that's the way it goes. Tim said it was to the point. It was funny how fast teams that threatened the SEC for supremacy found themselves in trouble for some real ticky-tack reasons. USC, OSU, U of M. I got you. Chad said SEC bias is real. It is. No doubt about it. And I think I understand it, though. Like I do. I understand it. I mean, when you win as much as they've won, it's hard not to. You know what I mean? Now, is it a little over the top? Yes, I think we can all say that. But I mean, they've been the shit for forever. You know, they have.
Char.
Yeah. Ray said, I'm pissed it's not going to be on PS4, only PS5. Tim said that Michigan's best coach over the last 60 years was Gary Moeller. Bill said, is Mark D'Antonio the best Michigan State coach in history? Modern day. Yeah, you have to say that. Modern day. But I mean, back in the day when they were winning natties and stuff like that, you know. Tim said Biggie Munn. Yeah. 4-3 bad guys. Is it final, Bill? I don't like that.
Bottom of the 9th.
Paige said, no Olympics or coffee runs. He and Killer just made me buy Coney's at 7 a.m. and badmouth my boyfriend.
/ NASCAR.
I nicknamed him 2-Bit. You still remember that? He was just 2-Bit. Like we would say to Paige, how's 2-Bit? The worst part is I do remember his name. I won't say his name out of respect to you, Paige. I'll just say it began with a J. But like we literally named him 2-Bit. And the funny thing is, like, he was a really nice guy. Like we talked off the air and stuff like that. And one time I said to him, I said, do you mind if I call you 2-Bit? He was like, no, it's kind of funny. He was just 2-Bit. It's something that like a 1938 father would say. That guy, he's no good, 2-Bit hood. You know, something like that is like, come on, you know? I'm like 40 at the time, and I'm talking like I'm from the 1930s, you know? Jim, where does Fire on the Blacktop rank among career achievements? You'd appreciate that, Blake. We had a whole street hockey league in the back of our radio station, and it got so big that Toledo Police and Fire Department would come to the games and sound a siren when we scored goals. And we had, at one point in time, we had boards, and we had like 3 different games going at the same time. It was insane.
Why is roller hockey not like it just isn't a thing anymore? It was awesome back in the day.
I enjoyed it a lot. I played in a league out in Adre. There was a league out there like on the tennis courts and everything, and I enjoyed it immensely. And the way that I would describe it is because you could anticipate better, if that makes sense. And it was just so I had fun. Gosh, that was fun. But that's neither here or there. He said there were sponsors for Fire on the Blacktop. Yeah, it's true. We legitimately had like sponsors, and there's a pizza place down there that one night brought down like 50 pizzas. It was insane. Yeah, and you can't do things like that anymore in radio. You have to, there have to be, you have to sign, what is it? What's it called?
Waivers.
Yeah, waivers and all that crap. You can't get away with stuff like that. Are you kidding me? No way. Let me tell you about our friends at Legacy. We got a really cool event coming up next month. I'm not ready to tell you about it yet, but a really cool event involving our friends at Legacy. I can't wait to do it and tell you guys about it. And hopefully you can come out and at least be a small part of it. But first things first, got to take care of business. Did you know that thousands of Metro Detroiters have already called Legacy Partners, like we did, to get help with their home and auto insurance? Our friends at Legacy Partners are one of Southeast Michigan's top independent insurance agents. They provide a full-service, one-stop solution for all of your insurance needs, personal, business, large, and small. See, Legacy helps people by fixing mistakes other agents have made, asking the right questions to get the right coverage put in place to properly protect you. And yeah, they help save you some money. Chances are, if you haven't checked your policies in the last year, you're paying too much and you could be underinsured. What are you waiting for? Give Legacy Partners a chance to help with your home, your cars, life insurance, Medicare enrollment. Did I mention save you money? And your business insurance needs. Call them today at 586-209-4106. That's 586-209-4106, or visit legacypartnersins.com to get started with your new quotes. I was watching some Wayne State hype videos today, Blake, by the way, and I can't.
I love a good hype video.
Oh, dude, I'm telling you. And I was like, 55 days until Wayne State kicks off too. I can't wait. Oh, I love every second of it, man. What were you
Have you watched any of the Netflix show Receiver yet?
No, I heard it's really good.
So I watched the first episode last night.
Uh-huh.
And I'm gonna say something that might upset you and Lions fans.
All right.
I think Amon-Ra is super freaking corny. Like there's something about his personality. I think of course, within the first 5 minutes, he goes back into the thing that he already did on Hard Knocks, 2 years ago, listing off all the receivers that were taken ahead of me. And then I catch 202 passes before and after every practice because there was some youth kid that caught 200. It's corny. I don't need to hear about it.
Okay, can I tell you this though? You know my feelings. I don't like those shows. As somebody who's been to many camps, I know when guys are turning it on and when they're not, when they're turning it off. I've seen it.
Mm-hmm.
I don't think it's real. I just don't. A lot of people, oh, dude, you got to see it. You got to see it. And because the Lions are involved, much like the last Hard Knocks, I'll watch it. I will. Yeah. But I like, if the Lions aren't involved, like, what is it, the Giants this year? I won't turn it on.
Cowboy or Bears.
Okay, I'm not going to watch a second of it. Why would I do that? I don't.
No, the Giants. So there's like 6 different versions of Hard Knocks now. There's an off-season Hard Knocks. That was the Giants, and they go through like all of the draft and the free agency and everything. And then the preseason one is the Bears. And then I don't know if they've announced who the in-season team is yet.
Sorry. I mean, no offense to anybody out there. I mean, to each your own. You know,
Oh, the show is good. Like, it's really good. It's really well done.
Yes.
But I just don't need to hear Amon-Ra talk about how he catches 202 passes again. It's corny. We get it, dude. You work hard. You're gritty. We get it.
Yourself. I don't think you have to say it anymore. Honestly. No. Jim said, I lined Sean up to shoot at my buddy Facette and it blew up. I can shoot it a little bit, so I'll just leave it at that. Jim could tell you. I could shoot it just a little bit. The playoffs now a thing in college football. You guys ever play the game? What if could Michigan had won one in 06? Ray, we were just talking about that earlier. I think Florida was going to win regardless. I do, but let me say this again. I don't think Florida should have been there. I don't.
Because I saw that comment, so I looked up the 2006 final AP poll,
Mhm.
and like, let's just say it was a 4-teamer. So it was Florida, Ohio State, Michigan, and it either would have been LSU or USC. I don't.
USC,
Probably not.
but let me say this again. The way that it's set up, I don't care who I think the best team is. Okay, it should have been Michigan and Ohio State. Did I think Florida was the best team? Absolutely, I did. But
who did Florida lose to that season?
That year, I don't remember.
Now.
You could look that page. You're right. I got to get a new W behind me. You notice it fell off. Like literally, I had it and it fell off. I'll talk to Eric or Jeff Weiss about that. Bill said 2 on, 1 out, Verling at bat. So let me know what's going on. It's nice to see the Tigers.
It just went final.
Oh, poop.
They lost.
Poop. Well, you know what? It's nice to see the bats come alive a little bit. And I'm going to say it again. Scooble is can't miss television, dude. He is just can't miss television. Insane. Ray said, I wish I could use hidden cameras to get a real side of a player. I'm with you.
Sorry. I mean, that's what Hard Knocks used to be, right?
At first. Yeah. Dude, I've been to those camps. I spent way too many days, especially back in the early aughts, where I not so affectionately nicknamed it Camp Happy Times. You know, because here I go. Sorry. I almost added to the jar. You know what my problem with training camp is? Find me the negative story. It's almost like spring training. Everybody's in the best shape. Everybody's on the same page. You're either going to forget about last year because it was a disaster, or you're going to forget about last year because last year doesn't matter. It's what's coming forward is what's matter. Everybody's going to talk about how this is the smartest system they've ever played in. It is like, honestly, it took me maybe 5 straight years of going to those camps to going, this is an absolute waste of time. And then, and Blake, you and I went through this last year. There are living, breathing organisms that walk amongst us that think that preseason football's important. Mm-hmm. Now, don't get me wrong. I like watching it. I do. I can't wait to watch it. I will watch the Pro Bowl Stadium game. I truly, really will. It just doesn't matter. It means nothing. What else do you have to see? My goodness gracious. So I think because of that, as much as I'm looking forward to football coming back, the whole training camp premise is just an old bit to me. I'm sorry. And if that makes me sound like a cantankerous old man, then I'll shake my fist at the cloud right now, you know?
Yeah, no, I'm on the same page as you. I mean, I think I don't want to just talk about football. I want football to talk about. You know what I mean?
Yeah. No, I hear you. Wouldn't you want to see a Cowboys Hard Knocks on the contract talks of all 3 of its stars? No filter. Yes. No filter. Especially with the drama with Jerry Jones going on right now too. That would be incredible. Why do so many people think Scooble here? Oh, damn it. It just went up. Let me try to scroll up. Like, why do so many people think that Scooble is getting traded? It's not happening without an absolutely stupid good return. Chad, I agree with you. If they made a deal for a bunch of prospects, I'd puke out of my nostrils. I would. I mean, all these years, okay? And legitimately, you have 2 guys who made it right now. Out of all these magical prospect names, it would be disgusting. Tim said Auburn beat Florida that year. Okay.
Yes.
Okay. Jim said, "Is this Disney, Sean? Is what Disney?
Because you didn't swear.
Oh, yeah.
Because of the jar.
There.
Jar.
Chad, everyone is in the best shape of their lives, and they all got healthy in the off season. You got it. I just okay, great. All right, fantastic. And come on, give me a break. Jason said, every time I met Sean, he was totally just full of anger and hate, and not just totally gracious and an all-around nice dude that wouldn't instantly ask you if you hit the buffet yet at live events. Just such an amazing jerk that totally didn't make you feel welcome. Thank you. Thank you very much. All right. You guys can always watch some CFL if you want to watch some football before college starts. I miss the games being on CBC, Ray. I do. It always seemed like there were a couple games on every weekend on CBC when I was a kid, so I could watch the Owls. Tampa's going to make an offer for him. Anthony said, what offensive prospects would you guys be willing to give up for Tanner Scott? No, it's a good question. What do you think, Blake?
I don't know who Tanner Scott is. Just being honest. This one's way over this is above my pay grade.
Dude, you know what? For me, I'm at the point in time where I would want what's the word I'm looking at? I'm going to say it again. I would want a known. I want a known. I don't want a guy who's even just on the cusp. Because how many times in the last few years have we seen Daz Cameron or Casey Mize? Or, I mean, we all know the names. How many times in the last, I mean, really, go back to 2017. Have we seen guys do something like that? And it would be a guy like Tanner Scott. I would love it. He's 29 years old. He's arrived. He's a known and everything. I think right now the Tigers wouldn't have a package to do something like that. I mean, obviously if you include Scooble, I mean, but I don't know. It's such a difficult spot for the Tigers right now. It just is, because you finally have a guy who arrived. I think we could say Riley Green is a good player. I mean, he's an all-star. He's a good player. I'm not going to put him on a pedestal that he doesn't deserve to be. But, Tanner Scott is a guy that, I guess you could say he lived up to expectations, because if I'm not mistaken, off the top of my head, he was like a big prospect for the Orioles back in the day, and he went down to Florida, and he's dealing right now. He's got, look it up for me, fact check me. Isn't his ERA like disgustingly sick, like even for like a reliever? Look it up for me. I think yeah.
You could have told me Tanner Scott was literally anybody, and I would have believed you, by the way. And I'm just kidding.
Chad,
eviscerated in the chat.
Chad, my problem. Let's trade Scooble for another Torque and Maben. Exactly. I mean, come on, we all know these names.
He's got a 1.38 ERA.
Yeah, he's been insane. He's been insane. It's like I sent out that text a couple weeks ago, Blake. It's like, seriously, all these magical, mystical names that were can't miss guys and hashtag Detroit roots. I mean, haven't you learned? Anthony said, I don't need any more pitching. The Marlins know how to develop pitching. You've seen the young guys we've sent up to the majors the past few seasons. I would love a guy like that. Are you kidding me? I'd love a guy like that. The Tigers, yeah. I thought that's what you were making reference to, because the name came up. So my apologies. But I want, if they do something like that, I understand if you're a competing team, you're not going to give up a giant known, but I want a guy who's at least a little known, and then a couple of prospects, and then you hope and pray that one of them pan out. But my goodness gracious, like Ray said, haven't you learned anything? Like, whether it be Verlander, whether it be JD Martinez. Anthony said Tanner Scott's ERA is 2.35. Isn't it 1.38? Didn't you say one? Yeah, it's
I'm looking at it right now.
Incredibly. Tim said, why more pitching when we need at least 7 more hitters? I think you need arms. I just do. Flaherty's going to be gone. I saw a report that maybe Flaherty isn't going to be gone. Do you really want to run the risk that the guy just walks away after this year? Sorry, I want to get value out of him. Anything at that point in time. Anything.
So, but do you think with them, like, and I know they lost tonight, but they've been on a good trajectory over the last week?
It's 7-4, right? Since the month started, I think they're 7-4
so.
now. Yeah.
Do you think they would try and buy though?
No. I think that would be the worst mistake ever. I do.
Okay.
Sorry. I think that would be the worst mistake ever. Like they're not that good.
So they'll definitely do it then, right?
I think Scott Harris is smarter than that. Michael Bohannon and I are going to be talking about it actually on Sunday. I think
he would know who this who's this Tanner Scott is. He would know.
Like I didn't know. Don't disrespect.
No, I'm saying me. When you said to me, "What do you think, Blake?" I don't know.
If they don't trade Flaherty, Harris should be fired the day after the deadline. Yeah. Gosh damn it! Where did I see that report? Somebody said that Flaherty might not be on the move, and I was like, "Stop it! Stop it!" You caught lightning in a bottle. You know what? This guy has been pretty damn good. Think about what that guy would do for a contending team. Put that arm like on the Baltimore Orioles with their little plethora of can't miss prospects. That's the type of thing. If you can, God forbid, get a pretty good prospect for something like that, you do that in a second. You don't do it for a guy who's a given, and you actually brought him into the situation. As Bill said, so high.
How long is Scooble signed for? Like, when's his deal up?
I don't even know. I don't even. They've got team control though.
Yeah,
you know, that's the good thing. You know, I mean.
Yeah, exactly.
Here, you know what? I'm going to look it up real quickly.
I was looking too for just asking you questions that I don't know the answer to.
After 2027.
Yeah.
After 2027.
No, you don't trade that guy.
No. Absolutely not. All right. You know what? I got to read a couple of these because we got to get out of here.
Yeah, it's already been an hour. I didn't even realize. We're just talking amongst friends.
Like he and I were talking about this. We just wanted to bullshit tonight. We did. It was like, what do you want to talk about? No, let's just talk. I know there are a bunch of people probably sitting at home like we are, so thank you. It's like we all kept each other company. Let me tell you about our friends, Lindsay Broadwell. When it's time to move, whether you're buying, you're selling, both, you need to contact the right agent. The right agent, that lady right there, Lindsay Broadwell. Your house is probably the biggest investment you'll ever make, and that's why you need a pro. Lindsay grew up on the mean streets of Northville and has expanded her team all over Southeast Michigan. She's an expert in all facets of the business, and when it's time to move, our friend Lindsay and her team will make sure you get the most out of your house and that everything goes smoothly when you're finding your new home. Buyer, seller, first-time buyer, doesn't matter. Make sure you contact Lindsay at BroadwellHomes.com. She'll help you with everything from start to close. Licensed realtor at Real Broker LLC. Start your search today at BroadwellHomes.com. And Blake, one more before we get out of here. Maybe you're planning a party in the summer. Maybe you still don't have your graduation plans. Maybe you're having a week 0 opening day for Cider Mill. It's one of the greatest days of the year, Blake. It really is. My cider mill opens up in the morning, and then I get college football in the afternoon. How on earth can you deny that day? But you don't want to do the cooking. I got a suggestion for you. Contact my friends. We've used them at All About Catering. All About Catering LLC is a full-service caterer. Graduation, wedding, bridal shower, corporate event, whatever the case may be. You're having a bunch of guys over. You want to be a lazy bum on the couch. Rick and the gang will take care of you. Anything you need from 25 to 4,000 people, All About Catering has your back. Customer service satisfaction is their number one goal. Do not sweat your next big event. Just go to allaboutcateringllc.com today to see their menus and all their 5-star reviews. I gave them one. Give them a call, 586-731-1398. That's 586-731-1398 to get your event started. So we appreciate everything that is going on there.
Hey,
Riley,
real quick before you start reading,
yeah,
I just wanted to remind all of our friends and maybe some new viewers to go check out our YouTube page.
please.
I haven't said that in a while,
Yeah,
and
please.
I feel like I've been slacking on it a little bit, but
That'd be cool if you did that.
at Unsyndicated Pod, you can find this show on there. You can find the golf show that Sean's doing. You can find Shep and Sean on there. You can find What the Puck on there. All of the shows are on there.
You're so smart.
It's fantastic. And the hockey show, especially lately, the high school hockey stuff that Sean has been doing, I will gas it up because Sean is so humble that he would not do this himself. Those have been great shows for someone that does not follow, even for someone that does not follow high school hockey like Sean does. I think it's great what he's been doing. Him and Mike have been doing with that.
Thank you.
So youtube.com/unsyndicatedpod. Check it out. All the shows are on there. All of the content, everything. And it's free.
Let's get a couple more comments before we get out of here. Anthony said, as the Tiger stands, have you guys noticed that you guys develop better pitching than you do hitting because of the minor league ballparks you guys have for your teams in the minors? Unfortunately for us, we haven't developed anything. I mean, seriously, I mean, all the names, and I put out tweets that were can't miss coo prospects, and some of them have had injuries. Some of them have just turned into meh. But I mean, right now we have two pieces that you can say they really made it. Riley Green, who I think is a good player. Again, I'm not going to call him a great player. Tarek Skubal, who's one of the best pitchers in the league. I have no problem saying that. I like what I'm seeing out of Colt Keith. Boy, he's been on fire, hasn't he? So, unfortunately, it just hasn't worked for this franchise. It hasn't. And I'm going to say it again. It's not as easy when you spew out the word rebuild. It's a hell of a lot easier to say the word than it is to actually do it, if that makes sense. Let me see. A couple more comments before we get out of here. Tim said, do it under subscriptions. Thank you. Bill said, what website? YouTube. I linked
it in the chat for everyone.
Oh, you're so nice. There it is. Like, subscribe, and share. What did Utah finally decide on for a name? The Utah Hockey Club.
I kind of like it. It's straight to the point.
Yeah.
It's not corny.
Right. Anything else? I know you got a bunch of crap to do this weekend. Anything else, pal?
No, and I think over the next 2 weeks, together a lot. I'm off work for 2 weeks.
I look forward to it.
So I want to, get in here with you as much as possible. And I'm thinking about, I got to figure it out. I don't know how I can do it, but I'm thinking about streaming the new game on here once I get it and everything. I got to get some stuff set up for it. But so if you'd be interested in that, maybe I can start up a dynasty and all of our wonderful viewers for Off the Air can watch Blake lose his mind playing a video game.
I love it. Nerdism. All right, we got to get out of here. I'll see you later. Bye-bye. Take care. Bye. Have a great weekend.
Off the Air with Sean Baligian, featuring Sean Baligian and Blake Majchrzak. Produced by Todd Losey and Blake Majchrzak. Executive produced by Sean Baligian and Todd Losey. Theme song, incidental music, and related sound effects are from Play It Loud by Jam Studio. Engineering, mixing, and graphic design support provided by the Unsyndicated podcast team. Don't forget to like and subscribe to Off the Air with Sean Baligian on all your favorite channels. While you're there, be sure to rate and review the podcast. Got something to say to Sean? Call the Unsyndicated hotline at 248-237-3257.